Hello everyone, welcome back to another How Does That Work tutorial. I'm feeling better today, so I'm going to continue on with the next lesson. This is going to be the Marquee tool, which you can see over here in the corner. Get my history panel out of the way for a minute. It's right here. It's got several selections in there. It's got the rectangular Marquee tool and the elliptical, and those are the only two we're going to be talking about. And I'll tell you what I used the Marquee tool for in the very beginning. But let's talk a little bit about these options up here, and I'll show you how they work. This is your original Marquee tool when you want to make a new selection, and this is when you want to add to that selection. This is when you want to subtract from that selection, and this is when you want to intersect two selections. We're going to do just 3 of those, and I'm also going to show you the shortcut keys that you can use to do that. So the first thing I'll show you is what I used to use the Marquee tool for before I knew all the other things that it can do. And this was really useful for me, and it still is at times, because there are times when the crop tools are not quite accurate enough. So if I have something that has kind of a border around it and I want to get rid of that and I want it to be nice and straight, I use the Marquee tool, and I'll show you how. I have this image right here of this girl, and it's a composite that I did. And what I would do is I would take the Marquee tool like this, and then I would use image, and I would crop it. And for me, it was a much easier and much more exact crop than using the crop tool. The crop tool is a little bit different, and we did that in the last lesson. If you want to go back and look at the previous lesson, we talked about the crop tool. So let's Control Z and get back to where we were. Now, one thing about the Marquee tool that's kind of a little bit of a pain is, like, if you go to another tool, it'll still sit there. And so the best thing to do is click out of the box go back to your Marquee tool and then click out of the box, and it will get rid of it. It likes to sit on the page for some reason. Now let's say that I want this box to be bigger, like I'm doing a print on demand or whatever, and I want to increase the size of it. I could use the crop tool and press the Alt key. I've shown you this before, but we can do it again. And you open that up a little bit and open this up a little bit. Now let's say I want to make this bigger. You can use the Marquee tool to add. Here's my add a selection. So you can add a selection right here. You bring it down, and I always overlap it just a little. If you want to add to that selection, you can either press the Shift key, or you can press this button right here that says Add to Selection. And you see the plus sign on there? That shows you that you're adding. So do the top part, do this part, and do this part. And this works really well if you've got like a print-on-demand project and you're trying to add more border to it. Then I go to Edit. Make sure you're highlighting this layer here. I go to Edit, Content Aware Fill, and I like to use this custom right here sometimes, because there's times when this might not look right. So let's say I used auto right here. And I think it looks a little weird. Like if you look at this, it seems odd. Like some of the stuff on it just looks weird around the corners. And you might think it's okay. It's up to you. But let's say that you don't like that, or you want it to look a little different. You want to use a part of that picture that you didn't use, that wasn't used in the auto version. So go to Custom, and it'll say use a sampling brush. Okay, this is your sampling brush right here. So let's say I want it to be that bluish. So I would sample all this and let it go, and it will add all that blue stuff around it. You can see it right there. Let's say I don't want that. Do a Control Z. Control Z again. Alright. Now let's look at this part right here. Let's say we want to use this grass over here. We want that to be the border around it. The extended border. Let that go and you can see how different that looks. That looks kind of cool. So let's go back. And let's try this space over here. And you'll have a completely different border. So you can play around with that using the custom right here. Let's do one more. Let's choose her dress. Cool. So you have a border around that that matches her dress. That's pretty neat. Alright, we'll cancel out of this for now. And we'll go back up to, I'm going to use the history panel to go back to the original picture. Now, so you can use it to expand your canvas if you like. Another thing that people sometimes use it for is, let's say that I kind of like her face and I want to put it all over the picture for whatever reason. I would do this and press the Control C and Control V. And what happens is over here in this layer, it gives you another layer of her face. So go use the Move tool and you can see, oh yeah, there she is, right? Now let's say that you want to use the elliptical and just use her face. Do that. Control C, Control V. Oh, sorry. You have to make sure that you're on this background layer first. Control C and then Control V. Use the Move tool and you can pull her face away. See? And so a lot of people will use that Marquee tool to take something out of a photo and put it somewhere else. Now sometimes what you can do, and let's do a copy. File new. There we go. Now that works good. So you can either do a copy or you can do a Control C, either way, and then a Control V onto another canvas. So those are the different ways that you can use the Marquee tool. You may want to use them in other ways, but those are really the main ones that I like. And those are the ones that I wanted to talk about today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Next time we'll talk about the lasso tool. So see you then. Bye now.